Welcome back. This week I'm going to tackle this ottoman by reupholstering the lid. You will need some simple tools, a screwdriver, pliers, and staple gun. Please do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button. It will help me in the channel. Okay, let's do this. It's got bad enough over the years that I just covered up with a blanket. So at one point I did get a cover for it, but it was fabric. And it collects the cat and dog hair so much that it was pointless. That's why I put the blanket over it. You can see how bad it is. I'm actually going to try and save this as a template. So when shops make these, they pretty much just use whatever is left over. So this would have been, there's 3 sections of foam here. I'm gonna hot glue them together because they were probably used spray adhesive to hold it together when they first assembled this. So I'm gonna hot glue it together just so it stays together, and then I was gonna put a piece of foam over it just to kind of secure it in place. These are the pieces I have that are just scraps from different projects. This one could work if I layered it, but then I'm still not gonna get the the coverage I need to kind of secure this all together. So this is the last piece, this is the winner. This is what's I'm gonna use. So let me do that right now. The spray adhesive would be better for this project, but I don't have any more on hand. I only have like a lightweight, so I'm not gonna bother. I'm just gonna glue it all together. Okay, I'm just going to set that aside and work on so this was just a vinyl, a cheap vinyl, but it is sewn together. Again, just to give you an idea, you may think you're buying this for design purposes. There's a seam here, and 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 2 seams back here. Those are scraps. So when shops make this and they have leftover pieces, they don't throw it away. They piece it together, and then you have more, which is fine because then you're not throwing away scraps, you're using them. But just a side note, that's how a lot of these things are put together. Okay, so I started to rip apart the top, and I realized why. I don't use it, I don't exactly need it as a template. It's just a rectangle and then another long rectangle that goes other around. So I'm just gonna measure it and cut it. So I'll just put right sides together and sew like a 1/2 inch seam right there because I'll have a ton to go around. And then I'll clip this or pin, well, I'm not going to pin it, but I'll clip this all together, and then I'll set up my sewing machine and come back and show you. And then just to give you an idea, okay, so this is recycled leather. We joked about it at the shop that it was chewed up leather, but basically they take actual leather, grind it down, and then add whatever glue mixture to it to give it, to hold it together. And then they'll laminate on top this color and texture. So yeah, it's leather, but not real leather. So I'm just gonna use this because I have it. It's left over from some projects and it'll work for what I need for now. Now that I have my pieces cut out, I'm gonna go ahead and clip them together. And then I will sew all my pieces together. So I'm going to put right sides together and just clip it all the way around. Okay, so I have my walking foot in, I have my leather needle in, and then I'm going to change my stitch length to 3.5. So my plan is just to start at each corner and move to each piece. And then when I have my seams put together, I'm going to trim off my edges. At what point my phone ran out of storage and I had to free up some space. But I have also pieces sewn together and now I'm going to go back to the corner. So I have my pieces together, right sides together, and I'm going to go up to my finished seam. Put my foot down and line up the middle. And then I'll sew the seam down. So I'm going to show you how I'm doing my corners. I'll show you the picture I took of the original. So there's different ways you can do your corners. You could pull it together like this, put your staples in there, and then trim off your edge, and that'll give you more of a mitered corner. You could just push it down like that. I don't like the look of that. I mean, you would just staple here and staple there, but that's going to give you a lot more bulk when you're putting it back on your piece, whether it's a chair, like a kitchen chair, and you have a cushion and you're redoing that, or for this being the lid on my ottoman. I'm just going to do it, and I'll put a picture in of how I took it apart. I'm just going to fold it together and lay it flat like this. There's a little bit of bulk, but not much. So if you want it a little bit more like the professional or the shop's gonna do, go ahead and miter your corners, push your pieces together like this, staple, and then trim off your piece. But this is good for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a few more staples in. So I just ran out of staples in this model. It's the Arrow JT 21 series. And just to reload them, there's a point where you pinch at the end, and then it tells you to drop in the staples here, point sides up, and you just push it back in. That's all there is to it. Okay, there we go. It's all done. So I'm just gonna put it back on the ottoman, and then I'll give you a look afterwards. Okay, I almost forgot. It's all put back together, but I was gonna put the liner back on, and you know what? It's just old, dusty, and cheap. So I'm gonna use this fabric that I have. It's actually almost the right size. So I'm gonna trim that up, and then I'll staple that on. So same thing, you're just gonna staple this on. I'm just gonna fold my edge under. sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It would help the channel out. Thank you.